Oh.
Whoa!
This guy is not your typical landlord. We found him offering this disturbing arrangement on Craigslist.
Room share for a submissive female.
It gets worse. During these hard times, COVID-19 has thrown many in a tailspin. If you are a submissive female and wanting to barter session, playtime, once per week in lieu of rent, we should talk. Posing as a potential renter, Inside Edition producer Alicia Powers responded to the ad.
He says he wants to try out the arrangement first and then meet at a hotel room.
He gave our producer the following bizarre instructions that left no doubt about his intentions.
He says to wear my hair down, no jewelry and minimal makeup. Then meet him in the room, undress, and put on a pair of stilettos he got me. Wow.
The shady world of horny landlords. They don't take your money for the rent. They take your drawers.
Look, on the bed, it was 2 lingeries.
Forget about a money order. They want you to get in that water, that tub. They want you to give them a bubble bath, aloe vera body wash, squeezing honey packs in the body wash. A sticky situation.
One was black and one was red.
They don't want a cash exchange. They want you to change into some lingerie with some Ja Rule playing in the background.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
The land of the horny landlords is no place for a lady who's in a bind should be at.
New at noon, a New Jersey landlord is accused of coercing more than a dozen of his tenants into sex acts in exchange for rent relief. 73-year-old Joseph Santani faces 23 separate counts of sexual assault and criminal sexual conduct charges. Santani, who owns 18 properties in Elizabeth, targeted tenants struggling with dire financial circumstances or prospective tenants who were homeless. Prosecutors say the incidents took place over the course of 4 years between 2016 and 2020.
If she is not a struggling single mother, she can't live here.
Dire financial circumstances.
If she got her life together, she can't live here.
Dire financial circumstances.
I like my certified freaks broke. I like my certified freaks in a bind. And I'd be damned if she can pay me on time.
Dire financial circumstances.
If you a landlord and your target audience is struggling single mothers, that means you don't give a damn about the money. You just utilizing the properties to trick off. You're nasty as hell, dawg.
Dire financial circumstances.
When you be doing walkarounds with potential tenants, you probably do it in a pair of gray sweatpants, trying to show a struggling single mother what you're working with. This man be hoping to see multiple evictions on your record. If you tell this man that you in a bind and you need to find a place ASAP because you and your kids are living with your mother and your mama wants you out the house because of her new boyfriend, he probably gonna start getting naked.
Dire financial circumstances.
Like, whoa, sir, why are you taking your clothes off?
Oh my God.
I'm trying to tell you about my messed up living situation and you getting naked. What's up with that?
Dire financial circumstances.
Oh, my bad, sweetheart. You were speaking my love language. It's something about your struggle that's bringing the inner freak out of me. Back in like 2016, I was at the DMV and I overheard this old head say he like his women with a little bit of struggle on them. Paying light bills equals night thrills.
Dire financial circumstances.
If she's short on the rent, then that back gon' get bent. And I instantly called the goddamn police. This man is a menace.
She made me do it. That's the landlord's defense to making his tenant sign a sex contract to get herself and her 5 children into a stable home. Alan Rothstein was a property manager and real estate broker. He was hired by the out-of-state homeowner to lease out the house. But in order to stay there and get a signed lease, he required her signature on this contract agreeing to have sex with him.
Who names a document that?
In court records, Rothstein blames the tenant for the existence of the sex contract, saying he had to use it to protect himself.
Nobody in their right mind would go to the trouble to draw up a contract like this is.
In court records, Rothstein claims the tenant was living in her car with her 5 kids when she sought the lease, and he felt bad for her, saying even though she had a terrible credit score, he decided she might be a good tenant if Section 8 was going to guarantee most of the rent. He goes on to claim that she stated she would do anything to secure the lease, and he took that to mean intercourse and sexual favors in lieu of monetary payment.
She made me do it. She held me against my free will. I was just trying to be an honest man and conduct good business. She took my hands, glued my hands to her hands, and started making me type out a contract to consent to sexual intercourse.
Rothstein blames the tenant.
This lady grabbed me by my face and told me, "You gon' trick off with me and you gon' like it. Now sign the goddamn dotted line."
Rothstein blames the tenant.
Usually, when somebody is trying to protect themselves when it comes to intercourse, they buy condoms or they request paperwork from their sex partner showing that they are clean.
He had to use it to protect himself.
Anything outside of that is kind of shady. When he heard this lady was living in her car, he went straight to Adam and Eve.
She's living in her car with her 5 kids.
Got some edible panties, handcuffs, chains and whips, and a can of strawberry sauce with a KY jelly type texture. This man is a freak.
She would do anything.
He was confident as hell she was gonna bust it wide open to secure that roof over her head. If this lady really said she'll do anything, you're supposed to ask her, what do you mean by anything?
She would do anything.
You know, you're supposed to gather more details about the anything she was referring to.
She would do anything.
Get some clarity, but you instantly got horny and jumped the gun and started typing out a goddamn contract.
Started a lawsuit accusing him of sexually harassing dozens of female tenants, is accused of violating a restraining order involving one of his tenants. The assistant prosecutor says this is the 3rd time that John Klosterman has been in court since September involving the same woman. Court documents say he went to her place of employment. The lawsuit by the Justice Department accused Klosterman of offering to reduce rent or overlook unpaid rent in exchange for sex.
You went to her place of employment. You went to the place where she go to make money.
He went to her place of employment.
What was your motive? You was trying to get her fired so she can be in a bind and give you the draws.
He went to her place of employment.
Hey, I heard you got fired today, which probably means you're going to be in a bind when the first of the month comes around.
He went to her place of employment.
But don't worry your pretty little head. I got a case of KY jelly in my basement that's collecting dust. If you help me knock the dust off that case of KY jelly, then let me proceed to knocking the dust off your ass. Let's just say paying rent will be the least of your worries. I really hope you don't. I really hope you do find another job. It's hard out here, just like me right now.
Overlook unpaid rent in exchange for sex.
Look, on the bed, it was 2 lingeries. One was black and one was red. And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
One incident happened as Conyers was cleaning other rental properties for John Klosterman, seen in this photo on file at the Hamilton County Jail from a previous incident. He owns at least 55 rental properties in this small neighborhood.
My cousin said, what type of freaky landlord you got? And it just went from there.
All of this conduct is not only wrong, it's illegal.
Conyers says she felt uneasy and found cameras outside of her home. She's happy other women now know and urges them to look at their landlord closely before signing on the dotted line.
It's out there. I'm touching women, and that's what I'm happy for.
She tells me she only feels comfortable now renting from females and has learned a lot from this experience.
Try them on and send me a picture. Black lingerie and red lingerie.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
This man has some serious plans of premeditated skin slapping. If you went ahead and bought this lady 2 different types of lingerie, that means you been low-key eyeballing that cornbread-fed figure something serious.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
Her size, her shape is tattooed on your brain. That lingerie gonna fit perfect as hell.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
55 rental properties. That's at least 55 women in vulnerable situations. That's the type of math he was doing in his head. A true menace to the society of real estate.
She's happy other women now know.
This man's best bet is to sell his rental properties to some outer-towners who is out of the know of his freaky reputation.
She's happy other women now know.
Take the money and skedaddle to the mountains of Montana.
She's happy other women now know.
If I was a landlord and also a certified freak, I'm not letting the certified freak that lives inside me become a liability to my livelihood.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
I'ma conduct good business with my tenants, and the money I make from conducting good business, I'ma trick off with that money in the next town over.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
Don't let the certified freak that lives within you disrupt your money.
And he said, try them on and send me a picture.
This guy is not your typical landlord. We found him offering this disturbing arrangement on Craigslist. COVID-19 has thrown many in a tailspin. If you are a submissive female and wanting to barter session, playtime, once per week in lieu of rent, we should talk. Posing as a potential renter, Inside Edition producer Alicia Powers responded to the ad.
He says he wants to try out the arrangement first and then meet at a hotel room.
He gave our producer the following bizarre instructions that left no doubt about his intentions.
He says to wear my hair down, no jewelry and minimal makeup. Then meet him in the room, undress, and put on a pair of stilettos he got me. Wow.
Producer Alicia, who has agreed to meet this guy who calls himself Eddie. Will he show up? The landlord texts back that he's already checked in.
Meet me by the back by 308, 309. We can talk in the parking lot. You Eddie? Alicia, nice to meet you.
Our crew immediately jumped out.
Go, guys. Let's go.
We're actually from Inside Edition. Let me ask you a question, sir. You trying to take advantage of somebody in the middle of this pandemic? You trying to take advantage of women in the middle of this pandemic?
No, she had the choice if she wanted to, take up on the offer, but I'm going to go.
So you were willing to give her a place to stay for free in exchange for sex?
No, I never said that.
You said in the text.
Everything about this Craigslist ad is certified freak the hell up. During these hard times, COVID-19 has thrown many in a tailspin.
In a tailspin.
That sounds like a title to an adult sing video. If I was on the hub, I'd click on it.
In a tailspin.
Bartering sessions of playtime once per week in lieu of rent. The way he worded that, you can tell he a certified freak with a touch of class.
In a tailspin.
Them stilettos had the TV host almost forget she was conducting an investigation.
Stilettos he got me. Wow.
Them stilettos changed the whole dynamic for her.
Stilettos he got me. Wow.
Having a pre-arrangement before the actual arrangement is established and doing it at a day's end, this was a scam.
That left no doubt about his intentions.
He don't got no crib for you to stay in. He stays with his mother. He was trying to swindle that lady out of her drawers and skedaddle.
That left no doubt about his intentions.
Will he show up? He been waiting at that hotel for 2 hours, waiting on y'all. He looking at his watch like, damn, I thought this lady was Caucasian. Why is she on black people's time?
That he's already checked in.
Imagine getting a case of KY jelly out your trunk with plans of getting your freak on. Next thing you know, you getting ambushed with cameras and microphones. And a black man using his TV voice.
You trying to take advantage of somebody in the middle of this pandemic? You trying to take advantage of women in the middle of this pandemic?
I'll be damned.